Hello, I'm Jennifer Haney. I chose to study the Etowah River watershed in northern Georgia. I work for the Mountain Conservation Trust of Georgia, and our focus is the conservation of land along the Etowah watershed, as well as community outreach to help support the ongoing Etowah Conservation Alliance, which partners several organizations, including the Nature Conservancy and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. The Etowah River is one of the most biologically diverse rivers in the world. It is entirely within the state of Georgia and is a major headwater tributary of the Coosa River system of the Mobile River drainage. Due to extensive impoundments along the Coosa River watershed, many species that were originally widespread are now found only in the headwater tributaries, such as the Etowah. The Etowah is divided into the upper and lower branch by Lake Allatoona Dam, which floods over 12,000 acres of the Etowah watershed. As a result of this dam, the lower Etowah biological diversity has diminished drastically. Most of the endemic species there have been extirpated. The river basin supports 3 federally protected fish species, 5 state protected fish species, several fish species likely to become candidates, and 5 species of federally protected mussels. The amber darter and the Etowah darter are listed as federally endangered, while the Cherokee darter is listed as federally threatened. Both the Etowah and the Cherokee darters are endemic to the Etowah. The freckled-bellied mad tom, the freckled darter, the holiday darter, and the bridal darter are state-listed in Georgia. In addition, the holiday darters of the Etowah are believed to be 2 separate species, each endemic to a sub-watershed of the Etowah, and both likely to become candidates for federal listing once described. Similarly, the freckled-bellied mad tom of the Etowah is endemic species of their Upper Etowah. Additionally, a species of speckled chub is also endemic to the Coosa River basin. Some of its best remaining habitat is in the Etowah. Federally listed mussel species formerly known to inhabit the Etowah prior to the Allatoona Dam that are now likely extirpated include the upland comb shell, the southern cub shell, the ovate club shell, the triangular kidney shell, and the Alabama moccasin shell. There is also a species of insects called the Etowah caddisfly that is known only from the Etowah and the Hiawassee rivers. Many of the imperiled fish of the Etowah are riverine species occurring only in the mainstream and the lower reaches of the larger tributaries, which contain many anthropogenic barriers. The Cherokee darter is a small stream species, and the Etowah darter, bridal darter, and the holiday darter occupy medium-sized streams to small rivers. Of the 50 species of mussels that once lived in the Etowah, only a few small populations of more hardy and tolerant species have been observed in recent years. The damage caused by the 840-foot high Allatoona hydroelectric dam that was built in 1947 to the species richness of the Etowah is well documented. After investigating the watershed on the Fish and Wildlife Service Geospatial Fisheries Information Network, I found an extensive network array of barriers upstream of the Allatoona Dam and headwater tributaries of the Etowah. Since many imperiled species are located in these tributaries of the Upper Etowah, I chose to specifically study barriers in one tributary. I selected Setting Down Creek for this examination. Setting Down Creek was chosen due to the determination that this creek is impaired by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. It is at the confluence of Setting Down Creek and the Etowah River that the Etowah River begins designation of impairment as well. It's therefore an extreme possibility that the contamination in Setting Down Creek significantly impairs the Etowah River. There are 10 barriers along this mid-sized stream in Forsyth County, Georgia. The ecological damage that occurs when barriers such as dams are placed in waterways are now well understood. The dams alter the aquatic habitat from a lotic to a lentic environment. Most species of aquatic organisms have adapted closely to their environment. They need the clear, fast-moving, well-oxygenated streams to survive. Mussel species are good examples of how damaging this change brought about by a dam can be. Most mussels need clear water and a gravelly surface to survive. They filter feed, and therefore in high silt events they must stop feeding altogether. When a stream is dammed, the silt forms a thick layer on the bed and the mussels can neither leave nor feed. Thus, they die. Dam removal, however, can be a complicated process. Often, some people may protest the removal because they fear change and are accustomed to the lake environment the dam caused. When I was working in West Virginia, this is exactly what happened. The West Fork River had 4 run-of-the-river dams that were built over 100 years ago and have become a safety concern. These dams altered the river in a deep, slow-moving waterway, and thus all the mussels were extirpated and the composition of the fish species altered. Despite these factors and the deaths of several people from the dam's turbines, a watershed group that focuses on fishing and recreation of the West Fork has adamantly opposed the dam's removal. They state that if dams are removed, the large fish, such as the muskie and the carp, will be gone, that boating would no longer be possible, and that trash has been deposited for years in the river will be exposed. Though all these factors are true, they fail to see the upside: cleaner water, native species, including trout, boating with non-motor boats such as canoes and kayaks, and a safer community from all dangers the dams represent. Dams alter the biological composition of waters. The aquatic organisms have evolved to survive in a particular habitat. They have value, just as game fish do. Additionally, dams create barriers that stop migratory fish from spawning, as well as create genetically weak endemic species due to the inability to mix with other gene pools. Damming a river is similar to a blood clot, stopping the flow, causing flooding upstream, and leaves the community downstream in a perilous position and inhibits the flow of organisms and nutrients. Thank you very much.